Well, good afternoon. Gambling again on the old Amazon. I made all my bills, so now it's profit time. So now I'm a little bit lazier, but I will show you. But first, I lost 14 pounds. I'm 264 today. It's not bad. Switching to the oatmeal in the morning. That's good. Oatmeal. Oatmeal's good. Plus, I did up my miles. I was running 3 miles all the time. Now I'm running 6. More calories burned. I biked 30 miles. Well, point two, whatever. Was at 17 miles per hour for a lot of it. There are some spots where you dip a little bit because you have to turn around and whatever, so not a big deal. But I made 27 miles per hour. It was nonstop, except for the time I ran somebody over. I said, passing on your left, and no signal or nothing, right? I'm right beside the guy. He also had mirrors, and he had a nice bike. It was a Trek bike. And I'm right beside him, and I'm not really even pedaling, really. And of course, it didn't help that there was a person running on the bike path. It's like you don't need to use the bike path to walk and run. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous. But yeah, I'm right beside him. No signal or whatever. And it's not an area where you exit the bike path, really. It's not, so you're not expecting it. And he takes a left turn right in front of me. I didn't fall down. He did, though. he hit the pavement pretty hard. But now you learn. He's like, you gotta be careful next time. I mean, I didn't want to argue with the guy, and I didn't. I was pretty careful. I was pretty pissed. I asked him if he was all right. He got up. He wasn't dying, and I saw him later. But Jesus, man, I should have told him, use your signals next time, man. How am I supposed to know you're going to make a left turn? And I told you, passing on your left. You're going considerably slower. And so therefore, make a signal. You know what I mean? Don't wait for me to be right beside you after you hear on your left, and then just take a left turn right in front of me. Well, I thought I was 278 pounds, but now I weigh 264. Still pretty heavy, so yeah, the guy's all right. I saw him biking later. After I realized he was all right, I booked out of there. I didn't want him thinking he was going to sue me. I mean, there's no signal. I mean, you gotta look. I mean, he had mirrors. You should just look. You know what I mean? Just look. So, yeah, got 594 feet. Well, 1209. Not bad for some hill. So that was some excitement. Didn't get my $69 ticket this time because I parked where it's free to park. Yeah, California, man. I mean, I ran out of time, and I get a ticket, and I'm expecting $25, $35. Yeah, $69. It's just, it's the kind of fines that California pull out on you. You know what I mean? The tolls too, $60 some odd. It's unruly, man. Unruly. And of course, I got the response from Amazon. Let me see here where it is. Where is my response from Amazon? Now, this is something that's pretty. Now, instant offers are on-demand offers for delivery blocks that start within 0 to 30 minutes. If instant offers are available in your region and you're within an approximate 15-minute drive to a participating location, turn on available now to start seeing available offers. Okay. To ensure, okay. New Bluetooth. Starting soon, you'll be required to keep Bluetooth on while using the Amazon Flex app. If you have Bluetooth turned on, remind you to turn it on if you have it turned off. We know that every moment counts, so using Bluetooth will be capturing the time you arrive and leave a station to analyze and reduce the time spent there. Now, despite my record saying, I'm late all the time, I get my block done early almost every single time. All right? And I've proven it. You know what I mean? And the reason why is because I set the car up from the get-go. Okay? And it takes maybe 15 minutes. So if they're going to start telling you need to get out of there in 5 minutes, you know what they're going to do is they're going to create people to be late. Because it is terrible to have 40 packages and you're at a stop and they say it's a large package, but actually ends up being a small one. So, because when I very first started, I would segregate the envelopes in the front, which I still do. And then I'd put the large together, the medium and the small, right? And I'd be at a stop and it would say large and I'm looking all over. I'm like, where the hell's the package? Oh, it turns out to be a poly bag. It turns out to be a small package. You know what I mean? It just kills your time. So when they give you 30 stops and you got 3 hours, that's 10 stops, and you just spent 10 minutes looking for a damn package, you're like, did I leave it in the warehouse? What the hell, man? And you're looking all over, oh, here it is. Yay, I found it finally. Yeah, you're going to be late. You know what I mean? So take the time to set up your car. It might take maybe an extra 10 minutes. But then the rest of the day is easy. So, you know, I'm going to do it the way I do it. Because that's kind of common sense. Let's be sure to total number of stops in my itinerary before loading my vehicle. Then I divide it into sections and load my vehicle accordingly, with the package toward the end of my itinerary to the trunk. Packages toward the beginning and back. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's a good advice. I mean, I think you need to know really how many stops. I mean, I guess if you have your vehicle partitioned or something. But yeah, definitely that's what I do. I put the last one in first, the first one on last. And then I also will have my envelopes beside me in the right seat in my coolers. You know, so yeah, that's good. It's good to also see the route too, the map. Then you can kind of that kind of helps too. So, yep, that's not bad advice. When loading pickup, I like to arrange them alphabetically on a last name basis. I don't know if that really. I think that's a little bit more complicated. I mean, easier to locate once I get there. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I mean, you could do it that way. Because, yeah, you're just looking at the name. Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, that's not a bad way to do it. That's alphabetical order. Yeah, then you don't really have to know, because unless you have multiple people on the route that have the same name, that's not a bad idea, actually. At first glance, it's like, well, that might be a little bit, but actually, yeah, that's not a bad idea. By the name and put it in alphabetical. That's not a terrible idea. Often though, like the blocks that I'm doing, they have the number on the box. Makes it easy. The number's on the box. So you just scan and you put it in the numerical order that is on the box. So then you don't need to do it that way. However, if you're doing a block that doesn't have it that way, that is actually a really good way to do it, actually. Yeah, I would not argue with that. That's a good idea. Good idea. Good idea. Yeah, I always do. Sometimes I forget to look at the note. And Oh, don't ring the doorbell. Oh crap, I just rang the doorbell. Doesn't happen all the time, but every once in a while. It happens more often when I'm doing fresh, because it's just, you want to let them know that the groceries are there. And they might not have the app on or whatever. All right, here we go. This is their response. Oh, this is my response to them. Let me try to be clearer on what I've been trying to say. The events that led to my standing falling were not my fault. 1. There were 8 packages that had different labeled addresses that were on the app's itinerary. So I went to the staff to ask about it, and she set those 8 packages aside. They were never taken out of the warehouse by me that day as a result. Those packages were used against me by the app or the system. Number 2. The late packages were not late. I was still well within my block time, but the packages were stated as late by the app. I called support about this during the block. As well, on fresh blocks, we often do not get our packages on time. And it's true. Sometimes it's like 30 minutes after the block starts, we finally get our packages. And then we still have to be on time, right? That's not our fault, and that happens all the freaking time. It doesn't happen with the packages, but it definitely does with fresh and the prime here. The prime. The fresh is pretty good. You can go right in and get it. But when it comes to prime here, yeah, it's pretty bad. You have to wait a long time. But the fresh, you can just basically go in and get it. And the packages, pretty much good to go. But the prime here, yeah, sometimes it's like 45 minutes. So we're not as well. I called support during the block as well. The fresh blocks, we often do not get our packages on time, i.e., block starts at 4:30 and I don't get my packages to scan till around 5-ish, and yet there are 50 packages to deliver. Truth. Some of the apartments are literally the size of a city block, and you have to walk, so it does take a bit more time than the system realizes. I have had over 8,300 packages, rarely ever had any issues. This last month has been riddled with events that were beyond my control, yet have wreaked havoc on my standing. It is frustrating that support cannot understand what I'm saying. I don't understand how and why I can't get my point across here. I have called several different Amazon supports. There's nothing I can do. Now, you can understand, like from yesterday, let me see here. You read what I said, and their response was, okay. On average, your standing reflects about 6 weeks of delivery history, so it'll take time to change. Okay, that's not wrong, but that's not the answer that applies to what I was saying, and that's the same thing Uber would do all the time. Give you a true answer, but it's not related. What I was saying is just what I just said, and I've stated that several times. The more you work, the faster your standing can improve. If you don't deliver as often, it'll take longer to improve. The best way to improve is to look at your standing, which tells you how you're doing in the Amazon Flex program. It shows you how you did in 2 areas during the recent deliveries, reliability and deliver quality. But what I'm saying is, those packages were set aside because the label had a different address than what was on the itinerary on the app. And I told them that I had asked staff about it, and they set them aside. Hence the reason why it was not right for those packages to be used against me. So then they send me this, you know what I mean? And they've done this several times with this template response that isn't quite directly related to what I'm saying. Drives you crazy. Everything included in your standing is important, so pay attention to all 5 areas. No shit, Sherlock. The reason why I am responding to this and definitely trying to get you to understand that these things are out of my control is because naturally I'm concerned about it, and I've been aware of it. Because I'm a little bit too focused on rating consciousness, you know. As an Uber driver, I was like that too. So, yeah, man, it's just stupid responses, stupid responses to stuff that I clearly see here. We're reaching out. Reminders about alcohol deliveries. It is absolutely crucial that you follow required laws. So I haven't done Instacart in a long time. So, guidelines to avoid. Yeah, now that's sometimes I think about this. You know, it might be a good idea in some areas to just turn down alcohol orders altogether because it isn't worth if someone lies and you didn't really see the ID. Well, it might be fake or whatever. I know my phone doesn't scan the licenses too well. But say you deliver the alcohol, they get drunk, and then they go out and drive. In some states, you can get in trouble for that. Now, it's not quite like a bartender, right? Bartender, but what about alcohol delivery? What kind of responsibility do I have? You know, do you really want to take a chance on that? So, you know, I'm weary about alcohol deliveries, and you know what I mean? It's not really worth the money and worth the consequences. So, you know what I mean? I don't blame anybody if you don't deliver for alcohol because it's not worth it. And of course, if you refuse because they don't have an ID, and then you have them getting violent and shit and being stupid, then that's not worth it either, right? So you can just avoid alcohol deliveries, not have to worry about it. It's not it's who cares if they say it's freaking discrimination. It's just being smart and avoiding putting yourself in the position to have to handle that. For what? You know what I mean? That's why I'm a little bit weary about the alcohol, to be honest with you. I don't like delivering it. I don't have a problem with it. You know, to each their own. But, you know, I don't want the liability of it. I'm not a person that is good at knowing if someone's intoxicated. Um, I'm really bad at it. I've had situations where people say, yeah, a person was really drunk. And I'm like, wow, I didn't know. Just not really got good at reading people, I guess. So now I haven't gotten any blocks. Maybe they kind of turned me off. It's possible because I haven't been active in so long. Let me see here. Let me see. White batch slate, maybe. And maybe I'll do some freaking shopping. But, you know, I barely burned any gas yesterday, and I made, yeah, freaking, that long ass pain in the ass block got good tips, $36. It was a pain in the ass, but hey, they tipped me well. But that night, I only got 14, so I made 49. Definitely when one was late, you're not getting a tip on that. And yep, that's the way it goes. So, but I didn't burn hardly any gas. That's the thing about the DoorDash. I'm basically burning as much gas as I was as an Uber driver. So it's too many miles. You know what I mean? It's just. Of course, I had a couple offers and I swiped on them and I didn't get them because somebody else took them. So, but I lost, well, let's see, 264, and I think I was at 277, so 13, 14 pounds. That's pretty good. So I'm psyched about that. What the hell was I thinking? So, but on average, you know, yeah, maybe what I'll do, just lay off doing the fresh until I get that thing squared away, and then I'll do fresh again. I don't know. Let's see what my Uber app is doing. They finally accepted my driver's license after 3 months or so. And of course, Checker was running my Massachusetts license. And that's the reason why I was failing the background check. Completed, finally. Yep. One. Yep, license type, not provided. License, state, Massachusetts. I'm going to Burbank. I don't like going to Jiffy Lube. Palm Springs. I'm really weary about driving for Uber. Yeah, DoorDash is getting into the shopping gig. Instacart just basically died off, I guess. Yeah, I love that shit. I got tricked on YouTube with an ad that some business was hiring, so I clicked it. Oh man, stupid decision. Yep, basically they're letting you shop, but only 5-star customer ratings will count towards your overall rating. That's not bad for the time being. And if it's 5 items, not a big deal. But they're not talking about how much they're going to pay you, right? That's what counts. I mean, if you're not going to get paid it hardly anymore, then it's not really worth it, right? And they're talking about waiting. Well, the area I'm working is actually pretty good at not making you wait. So I remember Long Beach area. That was terrible on Postmates. So I'll let you guys go, and thank you very much. Hope you guys are healthy.